Mr. Shelby, may I tell you something? You have a lot of enemies.
Enemies. Does your ambition have no limits?
I have no limitations.
I have no limitations.
Keeping on back for the next say song. Never tell her back that I never stay running. Sipping on facts, damn know I got stacks in the lab. Taking bitches straight for another cat.
Welcome to Market Makers, everybody. Guys, I hope you had a great weekend. The market update already went out. Be sure to check it out because overall, the U.S. markets, particularly S&P, drive global risk assets. Where are we on the cryptos? We're going to look at this on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, on Solana. Everything's timestamped below. Click the join button if you want to get our video updates throughout the week. And it also lets you jump over to our Discord, the join button right there on YouTube. And click the hype button, like button, subscribe button if you enjoy these updates. What I'm looking at on Bitcoin, I'll keep this update short because we've literally been in the same trading range since early June, but the snapback rally. Wave mechanics, wave of selling, snapback rally, wave of selling, snapback rally, wave of selling, snapback rally. I think we're going to get to 73 to 77 in this region. And then we could also see the market top come in looking for a 10 to 13% decline in the S&P, not 50%, not 75% like you're seeing all over YouTube. The normal correction in the two weakest months of the year, August and September, and then you'll see Bitcoin decline. Now, the key is, can we hold the low? Again, we'll cover that in future videos. Want to see if we get this upside move first, 73 to 77K. If we look at total, you form this nice flag or triangle. You had a false break to the downside. You came back and re-entered it. You got a break to the upside. Break out of 2.29 trillion, all the money in crypto to get some more substantial upside. You've been neutral, I guess you would say, because you've had a low of 2 trillion and a high of 2.29 trillion, and you're at 2.21. So your bias here, breaking out to the upside if we get that last push with the markets with earnings, because earnings in the markets, by the way, guys, have been spectacular, pushing 30%, unheard of outside of a recession recovery. We're talking about an index, the S&P. We're not talking about a beta tech stock. So spectacular earnings. If that story continues, which nobody knows because it's a prediction, it's a forecast Wall Street gives you, but if that story continues, I think you'll see the S&P push up to 7,800 to 8,000. You'll see the elevation of crypto because risk assets will rise as well. If we move over to Solana, we're going to do the order in reverse because Solana broke out of its trading range, whereas Bitcoin has not. Ethereum broke out of its trading range, but Solana led the way. We had our climactic sell-off, right? Sell-off. Automatic reaction, retest for a higher low, exited the trading range, got up to my target. Remember, my target predictions originally were 83 to 90, and we gave you those predictions down here at the bottom, and we got to 83. And now we sold back off, and we're trying to hold the ceiling of support. This is a classic Wyckoff setup. So what are the bearish and bullish patterns that you get out of this? The bearish pattern would be, there's your parabolic move up, your sell-off, you come back up and you fail somewhere around $80, $82. You top out, you break back down, re-enter the trading range. That's your bearish pattern. The bullish pattern is you came up, you came down, you break out of this trading range, you take out this fractal high, and we move up to the next level target, which is $90 here on Solana. And if Solana does that move, I would expect to see that move obviously as well in Ethereum, and that would mean Bitcoin also exited its trading range. So these are key things to look for, whether you're bullish or bearish. I think you're going to have some more upside here before you find resistance in this cluster of candles right here. So that's what I'm looking for Solana. And obviously you want to hold your key lows here, right? Your fractal low of $73. If you were to dip below this can tell you you're entering the trading range at a deeper level, but we're not there yet. We're at 77.58 as I'm doing this recording, looking for this up move to challenge the Livermore pivot right to the cluster of candles. Prior resistance, 83.71. Got to flip that to move on to $90. If we look at Ethereum, Ethereum did the same thing. Here's your trading range on Ethereum. You look at your trading range that was formed, $1,500 in the sell-off, climactic, reaction, retest, and now you elevate it along our trend line, broke out of the trading range, got to 1950, and then what happened? Again, just like Solana, you're trying to form this Livermore pivot, chopping around. You need to elevate above 1950. We have targets on Solana, 1983, 2100, and 2250 are the next three levels up. I do think we're going to hit probably at least 2100. If the earnings story continues in the S&P, I expect this elevation to happen in Ethereum. This is important, again, because when you talk about the decline as we move over to Bitcoin, when you talk about the decline, where you're going to decline to, I don't think there's a world that exists where Bitcoin and the cryptos are going to move up when the S&P tops and corrects 10%. That's trillions of dollars coming out of the market. So you want to look at realistic declines. So we'll look at that on Bitcoin. But for Solana, you want to hold this low. 1800, you're at 1897. Obviously, if you take out that low, you broke this uptrend line as well. That's bearish. You're going to be dropping down to support, and you have support down here. But your next support level, stronger one, would be around 1700. So you want to hold that 1800 low. So when we talk about Bitcoin, so we showed you Solana, we showed you Ethereum, and what did Bitcoin do? It formed its low, right? Sell-off climactic low, 59K. You guys know the story here. I've been dealing with it since June. You broke up, reaction rally, all the way up to 67.3. And then what happened? You got a retest, but this came down, made a new low, broke back to the upside. Where you are right now on trend, 1 hour out to daily are all bullish on Bitcoin. So that's a good thing. And you're trying to climb. You have an uptrend line here that formed. You had a false break below the uptrend line. You're back in the uptrend line, but you got to exit the trading range. This is the move Solana and Ethereum both already did. You got to exit above 67.3. And if we do that and can stay on top of it, that's how we get to the 73. That's how we get to the 77 at the 786. Test that previous uptrend line, which is now resistance as well. So that's the box I'm looking for price to get up to. Our kill box, 73 up to 77. And this would be really good for Bitcoin to do because, again, tying it back to the markets. If the markets do what they've done the last 3 years in a row, rally into July, late July, mid-July, we're already past mid-July or in the middle of mid-July, but it's the second week of earnings. The biggest companies have not reported yet. We could top with earnings. We can go up higher. But if Bitcoin can get up here, 73, 77, this gives you some cushion because if the S&P does 10%, let's just say Bitcoin gets to 75, right? It's a good number. Bitcoin gets to 75. If the S&P corrects 10%, which I'm predicting 10 to 13%, you got to look at a 2 to 3x beta for Bitcoin. So to retest that low, that 57K, you're at 23% if you fall from 75, right? If you came down even further, let's say down to 50K, right, which would be the next key psychological level, right at 50K, you're at a 33% retracement. So getting up into 73, 77 is important because then it's going to be about, can we hold the low when the market's correct? Can we hold 57K or are we dropping to 50K? Because from 75K to 50K, it's a 33% decline, which would be about a 3x beta on whatever the S&P does, 10 to 13%. So be key levels to watch. And then what happens, guys? The most bullish time of the year for the stock market will occur October, November, out to the summer. And again, the NASDAQ in that time period since the 1970s averages a 29% gain midterm election cycle, okay? 29% gain, S&P 20%. So again, if you're talking about the NASDAQ doing 30%, S&P doing 20%, do a 3x multiple on the S&P to be conservative. It's a 60% up move in Bitcoin. You have to get through the two weakest months of the year, July and August, in the stock market and see what lows Bitcoin can hold. And until then, I think we have more upside to break the uptrend line. I think we're going to copy what Ethereum and Solana did, exit the trading range and come up. We really want to see us get to 73, 77.5, have some cushion for the downside when the market's correct. See you guys in the next video. Hope to see you on the Discord.